Tonight, a determined decorator does up a derelict dunga, and a successful developer helps his builder son get started. With tips from property millionaire and investor Ollie Newland.
It never ceases to amaze me how much time people waste trying to save $1 here or $1 there, or 4 cents on a litre of petrol, or 10 cents on a can of beans, when at the same time they could go out and make $1,000 or $10,000 or $100,000 on a property deal.
This complete dunga from a deceased estate is going to auction today. And there is one woman, Mona, who wants it desperately.
I never have a villa in my life, and I believe a lot of people like villa, and I still want to give it a go.
There's nothing like a challenge, said the marketing. Well, buyers, there's plenty of room for your energy and creativity here, I would suggest. As close to the sought after, but hard to find, original do-up as you could hope to find.
The GV is $450,000, which it turns out is the starting bid.
Once at $440,000, twice at $440, staying in teens 50, at $450 here now, 450, are we in again? Once at $450, twice at $450, 60 bid, another one comes to the party, at $460, 80 bid, $480, 90 bid, $490 there, it's a way to buy properties here, $530, a good fast bid, $530, 40 thanks, $540. We are selling at $540,000. First call. Second call. Hammerhand's getting itchy. 50, yes, have a bit of that good bid, 550, at 550, yes, 551, or 2, no, it didn't work, give it the other barrel, at 552, 552, once, twice, quite sure, no, shakes the head, there's the winner unless I see another bid, 552, third and final call, ladies and gentlemen, all bids in, it is going, 552 it is. Sold. Congratulations.
Sold to Mona for $552,000. But an hour later, when Leslie from Ray White delivers Mona the keys, the reality of what she has done is beginning to sink in.
I don't suppose you know whether to laugh or cry.
That's true, you're right.
Mona is on a modest wage and is now the proud owner of over $500,000 worth of potential and not much more.
What I have done is wrong. I shouldn't buy it. Did I work emotionally? It's a nightmare. I don't know where to start.
Her property climbing scheme is simply to make this house the best home she can right now, making sure every move she makes increases its value.
It's too late to feel sorry and to say, oh, I paid too much or I don't want it anymore, because you feel like a failure, but I'm not a failure. I call myself a winner, and a winner, that's what they should really do. And I will do it. It will take time, it'll cost money.
It does have huge potential for later. The large section is now zoned commercial and is subdividable. Mona is hoping she'll get it livable for just $50,000.
Instead of say, oh, my budget $200, then you go and spend $200. No, my budget 50, and if it's went up to 55 or 60 or 100, you don't feel that bad. But I am determined to do it this way if I can.
Mona plans to live here while she does it up after work each night, so she's sloshing the disinfectant around first up.
I'm not very intelligent, but I'm a hard worker and determined.
And by tonight, Mona intends to have a clean place to lay her head inside these 4 walls.
When I look at a place like this, I realise that the only reason it stands up, it doesn't know which way to fall down. The money and the work involved would defeat a lot of people.
Property developer Graham is teaming up with his builder son Kendall to make money property climbing.
I do it to become financially secure and to be my own man. You know, like I don't want to have to work for someone else in my life. I enjoy being involved in my own projects.
I'm financially secure myself, and so for me it's more of a hobby, shall we say. Beats retiring, yeah. I don't like to use that word.
Graham and Kendall's property climbing scheme is to subdivide this section, build a new house and also renovate the existing house to sell both for a profit. Builder Kendall is the more hands-on half of this father-son team and is already underway with the new house on the subdivided off back.
We borrowed as much as we could on the property, and I just funded the balance.
The house Kendall's just starting on is already pre-sold off the plans for $420,000. Then there's the existing house to renovate, and that's where they could come a bit unstuck.
Basically, my idea with the kitchen is that I have no idea.
Interior design is not Graham and Kendall's forte, and they haven't really got a clue how to spend their $50,000 budget to make sure they do get a profit.
Really, it all comes down to budget. We could, reuse the existing cabinetry, get it, painted.
They've had Jane, an interior designer, working on some ideas for them, and this dated kitchen has to go.
And there's certainly some inexpensive finishes that you can select for when you are buying a new kitchen.
Yeah, that's right.
You don't have to go for a granite top, especially if it's something that you're reselling.
Beyond the kitchen, the rest of the house also needs some pretty heavy TLC.
Yeah, well, as far as colours go, I'm not very...
Typical bloke.
Yeah, I've got no idea.
We really want to keep as neutral as we can, especially since you're going to be selling it.
Yeah, that's right.
You don't know who your buyer's going to be. We've got to appeal to as many people as we can, but we don't want to paint, we don't want to look like a developer's designed this. This is the whole point.
Jane has also got some plans to open up the dated living spaces.
I think your best bet is going to be perhaps to create an opening between these two areas.
The rules are a little different if you're a builder because you can do things more cheaply than ordinary folk can. But the rule doesn't change that you can't put whatever you like into a property because you've still got to make a profit in the end. Let's see what happens to this one.
The first priority is to get a building permit for the renovation, especially for a carport, another essential item to getting a top price.
This is the
plan of the
design of the carport.
Proposed carport.
And this is the last plan which shows the internal renovations.
That's all.
That's it. Next week, is it? What is it, 10 working days?
Well, actually, it's 20 working days based on...
20.
Yeah.
20 working days is a long time to wait to be able to start the renovation, with mortgage costs of $600 per week.
It was a very simple application, and I can't see any reason why it wouldn't get through within the statutory period, and we'll just keep our fingers crossed on that.
But Kendall and Graham are about to learn the hard lessons that time and council bylaws are not on their side. Coming up...
An absolutely ridiculous tomfool law anyway.
There's not one appliance within the walls of Mona's do-up, but she's living here while she does it up. So she's at the appliance shed hunting for bargains with Dave.
Now, you probably want a hob to match that.
That's right, ceramic,
So
please.
if we go to a ceramic hob and we try and find one with a clearance, there's a second over there as well.
Oh, like a second, please. I'm a bargain hunter.
All right, we've got a second over here and a clearance. Now, you see here we have a ceramic top that's normally $6.35 and we've got it for $5.98 on clearance.
Oh, that's good. I think I will take this one. I've been looking everywhere and I think that's really good price. Thank you, yeah.
One bargain stove bought. Then there's the fridge.
Where we can, you see we've got this lovely sticker here that says a ding is beautiful.
Ah.
Okay, and that's that mark. Now,
very little, you can't see it.
For less than $2,000 total, Mona has a kitchen full of appliances.
You always have a quote and you always look for a bargain and you never go wrong.
Now Mona's hoping John at Home Trends has an ex-showroom bathroom which usually sells cheaper.
Now normally this shower bath, it's porcelain steel, would be $1,600. You could have that at half price for $800.
All right, that's very
How does that sound to you?
Oh, very good, actually. I might take it, thank you.
Now maybe Mitre 10 has a bargain ex-showroom kitchen.
Well, you picked a good day to come in.
Oh, that's good.
We're about to change our displays up.
Oh, well, God loves me.
Yeah, this one's been here for about 6 months.
Oh, great, yeah.
Okay, so you can see it has been opened and closed and people have poked and prodded around a little bit. I could do you a little deal on that, probably at cost price.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's very, very good news.
It is a nice display.
What's the best? My heart starts beating already because I'm a bargain hunter.
So I could let you have it for $1,800.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Mona is in high spirits with renewed enthusiasm as she arrives back for her afternoon date with the borer beetles, infesting the century-old woodwork.
Just 24 hours in a day. You work for 8 hours, you sleep for 8 hours. What about the other 8 hours? You can work for 4 or 5 hours and have a couple of hours for having good time. It's nothing impossible. You put your mind to it, you could do it.
With her do-it-yourself attitude and bargain buying, Mona's $50,000 budget is not looking completely unrealistic.
But of of course, I have to use this muscle and this spray. If I don't do a lot of work myself and looking for a bargain, I will never can do it.
Not all her bargain hunting is going to plan. It becomes very clear just a day later that the modern ex-showroom floor kitchen Mona's found simply won't fit into her 1900s layout. So Kevin from Mitre 10 is helping Mona choose a new kitchen.
This is just the idea that I had about coming around the corner.
Yeah.
And bringing the kitchen out into this room a little bit further. So we can go and measure it up and just see what it looks like.
Yeah.
Now Mona has no time to muck about. She's straight into the painting herself to help keep within her budget that the kitchen may now blow.
Disappointed with the kitchen. It's going to cost a lot of money.
It's gone from $1,800 to $8,000.
I can't cry over spilled milk. Too late. I make a mistake with the kitchen. I just learn from it and just think positive and go for it.
The kitchen can be installed as soon as the room is ready for it, but that could be a while because Mona Lisa Painter is now also Mona Lisa Jib Stopper to cut more costs. Building work is progressing without a hitch on Graham and Kendall's new house on their subdivision site. But a new bylaw and a large gum tree has thwarted the carport going ahead.
They're wanting extra contributions. They're saying that it could affect the gum tree, which they claiming is protected, an Australian tree, so you've got to comply with that, and there's no point trying to argue.
Worse than the tree is a recent council bylaw that requires a separate new consent for the carport and another 20 working days plus to wait.
Which requires any new carport or garaging to be set back at least a metre from that portion of the house which is closest to the road, even though we're about 14 metres away from the road frontage here. Apart from the fact that it's an absolutely ridiculous tomfool law anyway, it does create extra expense and extra time delay for us. So if we were to put a number on it, I'd say between $2,500 to $3,000 extra on the job because of this.
Graham and Kendall are footing the cost of an arborist to give them a report on whether the carport will harm the gum tree.
The council are having their last meeting early next week.
Yep.
And we've got to get onto that agenda.
So you need it by Friday then?
We need it tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that possible?
Yep. Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're stepping up the renovation inside, rejibbing the lot, which is well beyond what Jane has advised.
You have completely stripped all the jib off all of the walls, so there was an interesting surprise to come in and see. Naughty boy. So I was just really interested to know why, why you ended up doing that. I knew.
Once you're in the house, it's going to be like a brand new house.
Yes.
I think we were originally talking about spending about $60,000 all up. The contingency is that we could go up to 80 and still be making good, money.
The main reason Kendall and Graham are prepared to spend a further $20,000 to make the house as new is because they've done what every savvy developer does and got a valuation.
And it sort of blew us away a bit. We got an evaluation on the renovation based on the building consent and what will be done to it of $550,000. So that's really been good news.
That's over $100,000 more than their predicted $420,000 sale price.
The pressure's never off. I don't know. I still feel pressure to get this thing finished as soon as possible. The sooner we can get it done and sold and have the capital going, made the money, that's when I'll sort of be able to relax.
The new house is almost complete, but there's a lot to do now on the more ambitious renovation before they'll know whether their calculated gamble to spend more will make them more profit. Coming up.
I think I'm over my budget.
Six months into Mona's renovation, the house doesn't look much different from the road, but Mona's kitchen is in, sort of. Although she's still working hard, there's an army of people working on the property now. As well as a swarm of gardeners, the heavy artillery are here to make some sense of her section that's hiding decades of rubbish. Professional sanders are attacking the floors, and local company Fix It are swarming all over the exterior.
I was painting the front in the weekend, and I show you, I was only in height. I don't like height, 3-step ladder, and I fell off. And as you saw, there is organic, a lot of volcanic areas. There is a lot of stone. Hit my head. I got 7 stitches in my head, and I'm so grateful I don't have to climb up and paint the roof. You know, everybody said to me it's going to cost you 200,000 to do it, and everybody said to demolish it. But no, they're wrong. It's a strong old lady, and I'm proud of this old lady.
So Mona isn't thinking about how much all this will be blowing her budget, and Fix It is finding plenty to fix. The shingles have finally succumbed to 100 years of weather.
My budget was 50,000, but I think in the meantime it's just a challenge and do it up, and if I make money it will be fine. If not, at least I learn from it.
Ollie doesn't think Mona should worry too much about the cost of her particular renovation.
This is exciting buying. Mona is sitting on buried treasure. Not only has she got commercial property, but she's got a do-up house as well. The value of this can only go one way, and that's up.
Ollie has learned that there often is much profit to be made by selling the potential of a property on to the next person rather than doing the hard work himself.
When I first saw this place, I knew I was onto a winner. Not only is it a home and income, but it had a subdivisible section. So all I did was get my surveyor in, draw a pretty picture up, draw a line across it to show how the section could be subdivided, and just sold it as is. I didn't want to do the subdivisional work myself. That would involve too much work. So I just sold the section as it was with a little plan. In other words, I sold the sizzle rather than the sausage. There are a lot of properties which have potential, and all you have to do is find that potential and earmark it, and then you can sell the property with the potential without even getting your hands dirty.
Mona's commercial land is getting a rather domestic spruce up, as 9 long months after she began, her house is ready for a valuer to tell her whether it's worth all she spent on it.
I think I'm over my budget, but I think overall I went nearly over 100. A lot of people think buying a house is beyond their reach, but you can buy the worst house in the best street, and I'm doing it to inspire others.
And Prendos valuer Tim is here to give Mona the good or bad news on the value.
I've had a look at your house. So we've got 2 numbers. The first number, as it is, on a current one site, we're looking at 720,000. And as a 2-unit site, we're looking at 860. If you can go and do it on that basis. That's if you just sold it on the basis of the potential.
Potential?
Yes.
Yeah, it will be 820.
860.
860. Shit, they're bloody good!
The valuation shows that Mona did exactly the right thing and could have spent even more money on it. But it's the most nerve-wracking way to make money in the property game. But Mona's sitting in a beautiful house on a valuable piece of commercial property.
6 weeks after Graham and Kendall decided to gut their do-up, the painters are putting the last finishing touches, and the house is looking pretty fantastic, full of rented furniture from Homebase.